What episode number is this?
This is 110. The
It's
goat
310.
310. The goat
You should-
speaks.
I love that you just erased 200 episodes from our history.
Yeah, of course. Start over. It's like from there.
This is episode 110.
110. This is the second one. 110. The second one. We actually repeat numbers. All right. So today is Sunday, May 2nd. All the stuff happened. So
Are we live?
we are live. This is live right now. So
This is your intro?
yeah. So like guys.
Hey, it's May 2nd.
Yeah.
All of this stuff happened.
All the stuff
What
happened.
the fuck, Anthony?
All the stuff happened. But the first question we must ask, besides what's going on in the world, is what's going on with you, Darren?
What it do?
Yes. What
Is
does
that
it
what you're
do?
asking me? What it do?
In different language.
I'll tell you what it do. I met Hafa Domingos, and he's opening a school here in Vegas called Ronin Jitsu. It's inside of Smash Iron Academy or Smash Iron Gym. And when someone asked me about this guy, I was like, oh, I don't know who that is, but I'm sure he's very good. And then when I saw him train, I was like, man, I love this guy's style. So I went to the grand opening for his school for Ronin Jitsu. And it's a beautiful facility. It's opening on Monday for the first class. And it's opening in a very small but beautiful space. Everything's really modern and great. I highly suggest people go there and train. And but I'm watching the guy train, and I'm like, I love this dude's style. Like, love it.
Yeah.
And but I'm like, yeah, I don't know who he is. And then I'm sitting at my house, and I Google him, and I start watching some of his matches, and then I see a match with him and Gary Tonin, and I'm like, I saw this match when it happened live. And when it happened, I saw his match before he fought Gary too, and he won that one. And I thought he had a really fucking cool style. I remember seeing him in that match with Gary and being like, this dude's fucking good. I'd like to train with him. But like, you know how I am with names.
Yeah.
Like a name can fall out of my head very easily. And so it did. And now that he's here and opening his own spot, he's left Zenith and he's doing his own thing. I feel like, well, Zenith was the academy he was with when I saw that match with Gary.
Okay.
He was rocking that Zenith patch, and I guess he was training with Drysdale is what I hear. But now he's doing his own thing, and I got to watch him train. He trained a little bit with Jess. I saw him train with a bunch of black belts, and I just want some of that. So that's what it do with me. I'm going to be training with Rafael Domingos very soon. That's what it do.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
What it do with you?
Not much. Just trained today. That's about it. Nothing special.
Just trained today.
Nothing special. Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing.
Nothing special. Just took some time out of my day to get some jiu-jitsu in and then cue you in on what's actually happening in the current game, Darren, since you live under a rock. Oh, and I also got to train with some old friends this week. I got to train with my boy Chris,
Nice.
who helped me put together the sticker that we just put out. And then I got to train with Henry Akins again.
Nice.
Hickson Gracie black belt. And I hadn't trained with Henry in quite some time, so that was super, super fun. And
Was he disappointed in your new style? Was he like, Darren, why are you using?
no, he was disappointed in my lack of linking things. I'll say that.
Gotcha.
But he was happy that I attacked him a bit. I was like, look, I tried to kill you. He was like, well, for a second. Because I threw a flying triangle up in transition.
Yeah.
Which, it was weak. But, like, it was an attempt at offense, right? And, like, it was reasonable at the time. It wasn't, like, forced offense. But, like, I think that it legitimately surprised him. And I don't usually talk about training, but I'll tell you this. I think it legitimately surprised him because he fucked me up pretty fast after that.
Yeah.
Like, after that, all of a sudden, I was flattened out and shit, super uncomfortable. So I think it worked. But it didn't work to the point where I actually got him. So almost doesn't count. We know this, right?
Yeah.
Almost doesn't count. Advantages are bullshit.
That's when it matters.
So, did you catch the UFC?
I did. Well, I didn't watch it live. I watched it after the fact.
Okay. There were a few things because, like, honestly, it's not that the UFC wasn't exciting this time. It was. There were some good fights.
Yeah.
but I wasn't blown away by anything in particular. I'm really concerned with just two items from that entire card. One, I was really hoping Sean Strickland would talk more.
Why?
Because the UFC did such a good job of building him up as this dude who fights while he's talking to you, like not even just talking shit, like literally having a conversation, like he will fuck you up and talk to you. But he didn't do a whole lot of talking in this fight, so I was slightly disappointed with that. But while I was watching his fight, I thought about what it would be like to be the other guy. So when you watch that fight, Christoph is sitting in the corner on his stool like any other fighter, right?
Mhm.
Did you see what Sean was up to?
Sean was
Or were you like getting a
st-
drink or
Sean
something?
stood up and started talking to people.
Bro, he's pacing back and forth talking. He's getting his fighter bounce in. He's like and like if you're sitting down and motherfuckers are pouring water on you, and I'm not saying you don't have good cardio, but in between rounds, I expect you to look like shit to a degree. To a degree. Like just okay, get your breath. Okay. Now if you look like shit with 20 seconds left before they start the round again,
Mhm.
right? If you look like shit with 20 seconds left, I'm a little concerned. But if you sit down and you look like shit, I don't give a fuck. We're gonna take deep breaths. We're gonna get some water in you. We're gonna put some ice in your head. And when they say seconds out, I'm gonna look into your eyes and I'm gonna assume, or I'm gonna look into your eyes and I'm gonna see, oh, yep, he's back, she's back, let's go. It's all good. Right? But like so Jocko's sitting there. He's trying to get his bearings. And like if you look across the cage and you see this motherfucker bouncing around and talking to you, like walking back and forth, and you can see it's not a work.
No, it's real.
He's not. Yeah, it's real. That's who that guy is. And like now you got to go face that guy again. And then it's like, all right, now it's in between rounds 2 and 3. And now I'm more tired, right? Like naturally,
Right.
I'm more tired. So I'm sitting down on my stool and I look up, and this motherfucker is pacing back and forth and staring at me. That has to be disheartening. Like you want to look over at the other corner and be able to assess the amount of damage that you've done to this person and to draw some form of comfort from that, right? Like you've been spending 5 to 10 minutes beating on this person's body with your body. So you want to look across and see that it's had some effect.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting on your stool dealing with the effects of what this person has done to you, and you look over there and they look like, oh,
Stretching.
like, we're ready to do it again, Daddy. Like that's a disheartening thing. And so that made me instantly want to be more of a Sean Strickland type. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to be on the mat. You look across at me and be like, man, that guy ain't going away. Because that's disheartening as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Sean Strickland for getting it done. I think if he had talked in the cage,
Yeah.
he could have gone into like megastar land.
Probably. I mean, but
Because they were pushing him on social media.
yeah.
The UFC was pushing this dude on social. And I really think he could have done something pretty special and still could. They were putting over his boxing a lot too,
Yeah.
in the little beats that they put, the little tweets.
Yeah. Even Teddy
You know what I'm
Atlas
saying?
talked about it too.
Teddy?
Yeah, Teddy Atlas said like that's like he said he's a great example of a guy who he puts no waste in any of his shots. Like he's not there's no waste in anything he's doing. Like he throws when he's in range, and then when he's not in range he's not throwing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, if Uncle Teddy is talking good shit about you, you're not fucking up. You're not on the wrong path.
Nope.
Like Teddy Atlas is one of the greatest boxing minds of all time. He knows his shit.
Yeah.
He knows his shit. He's seen more boxing than most people,
Yeah.
you know, than most coaches.
Seen more boxing.
He's a fucking genius. So if he likes what you're doing something right. There was one other thing in the UFC that kind of bugged me. And I think it's interesting the way that like people treated
Yeah.
Aljamain Sterling, for receiving a very, very strong knee when he was clearly not defending himself from that knee because he believed that the rule set was protecting him from being kneed in the face. And then to be kneed directly in the face with a strong shot. It makes sense to me that Aljo did not continue.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me that he didn't continue. and that he allowed the rules to give him the win. Randa Marcos threw an up kick on her opponent. I don't even know her opponent's name. You can look it up for me, please. I don't even know this woman's name, and I don't even feel like I care. I'm a fan of Randa Marcos, like, peripherally. Like, when I see her fight, I want to see her do well.
Right.
Like, I just cross my fingers and hope she does well. But I don't know her personally or anything, right? I root for her when she fights. And I was bummed when I saw her throw that kick, because whenever you do something like that, whether it lands super violently or not, now you've taken your ability to win that fight and given it over to the ideas of subjectivity and whether or not this person who you've kicked is going to exploit the fact that you broke the rules or not, right? Like, that kick did not put that woman down like she fell down. She was not dazed or out of it. It was like, that kick was more like a slap. And I'm not saying it didn't hurt or whatever. I wasn't in your body when you got kicked. But I don't think that you behaved like somebody who wanted to fight. And I think if you had wanted to fight, you could have fought. Like, Randa slapped you with her foot. Like, she up kicked and caught like the ball of her foot on the face. But it wasn't like a super strong driving shot that jacked this woman's jaw. It wasn't the heel on the temple. It wasn't anything that looked catastrophic at all. And so I was a little bit bummed out that, like, that could be the end of her UFC career. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it could be, but
like, that DQ loss might be the last time she gets to fight. And that would suck. That would suck. It would suck to end a UFC career like that. For fuck's sake. You know what else it would suck to end a UFC career?
Mr. Sanchez?
Dude. I met both those guys in that sauna at the PI. And I told this story months ago, that I spent maybe 45 minutes with those guys. And we talked a little bit on Instagram. And that we were interacting like gentlemen. Right? But I would be a liar if I said I thought that Joshua Fabia was a positive influence on Diego's career overall. I'd be a liar. I would never say that. I don't also feel comfortable saying, like, he ruined his career and all this. Like, I don't know. Maybe they've had some other moments that were really, really excellent and important. But there were moments where Joshua Fabia put how he was being treated as such an important part of what was going on that put Diego in a vulnerable spot. And so whether or not he's a valid trainer, whatever the fuck that means, I don't even know what that means anymore. Like, if you're in a managerial spot, you got to be able to feel whether or not the resistance that you're trying to give to the UFC brass, the UFC fucking system, if you're like trying to talk to like the fucking people who make decisions in this company, and you're like berating the commentators for how they refer to you, like, look, man, I don't know what the commentators say about me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think about that. I literally don't know if I've ever been mentioned on ESPN one time by name. I do not know. Because when I watch fight footage, even before I started turning the sound off, which is recent, I didn't listen for them for what they were saying about me. I could give a fuck less. I literally couldn't tell you if they've ever said my name on ESPN. Like look in my eyes. Like, I'm so serious.
Yeah,
I have no fucking idea.
No, yeah, they definitely said your name.
Like, I have no idea. I have no fucking clue what. Like, there's nothing ringing in my head that John Anik said about me. There's nothing ringing in my head that Paul Felder said about me. There are things ringing in my head that he said about Jess.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think about myself in those moments. Those moments have very little to do with me. You're there to support your athlete. So
Right.
now you come and you try to defend your name. Well, every time you go to defend your name, you know what the people around him think? Man, it's really fucking difficult to deal with Diego now that this guy's around.
Yeah.
So you're putting your athlete in a shitty spot. And that's just a fact. Like, whether or not they want to, like, say, like, oh, like, we got railroaded. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But, like, what did you do to make sure that wouldn't happen to you?
Not much.
What did you do to make sure Diego was protected, Joshua? What did you do to make sure that, like, if you don't like the way you're being treated, that they weren't going to fuck your boy? Because that Cowboy fight,
Mm-hmm.
that Cowboy fight in itself is fucking your boy, by the way, in my opinion. I think Cowboy beats the fuck out of Diego.
Yeah, not nice. Not nice at all.
I think he beats the fuck out of Diego. And I don't like that. But that's what I think would happen.
Mm-hmm.
So first we signed this fight with Cowboy, who has a personal vendetta and is training like a fucking assassin to do a murder. Right? So now your homeboy's facing a dude who wants to commit a murder on TV. And you're making life difficult with the people behind the scenes. And then they fire your boy.
Yeah.
Fuck. Diego Sanchez should be a Hall of Famer in the UFC in good standing. Not a guy who was fired at the end of his career.
Yeah, because the way they made it sound, they made it sound like it was going to be another Mark Hunt situation.
Dude. Unfucking believable. And to like put all that shit on social media was just such a bad decision. Like you don't take a piss, especially they're about to cut you a check. Let's wait until after this fight that you already signed before you start talking all this shit. And then apparently it's just over medical records.
Yes.
So there's a good chance that you are concealing something. And if you're not, then you're just being weird about it.
He's like, I want to, help. I need to know all the medical records that, Diego Sanchez went through so I can help heal him, heal him through his MMA career. And they're like, no, we've done this before. No.
Get the fuck out of here.
No.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen, man. That's what's going to happen. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Like, I wanted to see Diego go out in good standing. I've loved watching Diego Sanchez since I first started jiu-jitsu. I used to see him on these compilations for King of the Cage. You would go to Best Buy back in the day before there was like a lot of fights on YouTube and shit. And you could get like a thing of fucking DVDs and a little case that had like 6 DVDs in it with like literally like fucking 14 events. So you would have hundreds of fights to watch. You could just sit in your house and watch fight after fight after fight. And Diego Sanchez and fucking Joe Stevenson and Uriah Faber were on these fucking DVDs, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I discovered these names before they were household names as UFC fighters. So I've been a fan of Diego since the fucking jump. And to see it end this way is unfortunate. Like, there was never a point where I thought, oh, Diego Sanchez is the most well-grounded fucking, like, completely involved in only reality guy. Like, he's always been a little bit weirder than most.
Yeah, for sure.
But never did I see him as anyone I didn't look up to. Like, I always looked up to him. Even when he did weird shit with things that I thought were strange, like when he jumped up and down after he like didn't lose by submission to Marcelo Garcia at Abu Dhabi. Yeah. Like he was like, I made it all 10 minutes. Like and Marcelo's looking at him like, huh? Like, did you win? Did someone not tell me something? Right? Like, I was a fan then. And I'm a fan now. So it breaks my fucking heart. Poor Diego. Poor Diego. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Did you catch Gordon Ryan on Rogan?
Well, before we get to that, I would like to tell you the shenanigans, the swindling, the
what?
The wool that the UFC's pulling over our eyes. That that we're going to be watching a Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou fight, and apparently we're not. We
So that's not happening.
as far well, nobody's made any official announcement yet, but if if I'm the guy who's making the contracts and two dudes are saying, "Hey, I'm gonna fight you," and "Hey, I'm gonna fight you," and they're trying to make that hype happen over the internet, then I don't know. Like, I can't. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna be like, you have to fight Derek Lewis? It's like, no. You know, fight the guy that's interested. Like, they've been talking. Well, first off, John fired his management, his old management.
First round management.
Yeah, got rid of them. They're done. Getting
I did see
new managers.
that he released a little statement that said they parted ways. First round also released a statement saying that them and John have parted ways. And so I don't think pardon me. I don't think that you sound like a conspiracy theorist right now.
Yeah.
They were trying to sit at the table and make that fight happen. Ngannou Jones.
Right.
And that first negotiation didn't go the right way, didn't end in a contract that put a bunch of money in John's bank account. So he got rid of first round.
Yeah. Supposedly they were the one doing the 30, saying the 30 million nonsense.
And 30 million is only nonsense because of the current situation in the game. Because they're not going to generate enough money to be able to give John 30 million and do the things the way they normally would do them.
Yeah.
Like, you can't pay John 30 million without affecting the pay for the rest of the fighters on the fucking roster. That's just all there is to it.
Yeah.
Like, Conor can go into a different model and make an insane amount of money because that's a different model.
Yeah.
So, like, if John and Francis could find a way in a magical universe to go outside the UFC and fight for a heavyweight title on Triller, then they could fucking probably make what they want to make. But if the UFC is going to pay John 30 million, then the next time somebody wants to do a super fight, or the next time a former champion wants to move up in weight, they're going to cite that as, that's the bar. You paid this guy X. So I'll take X minus 10%, or I'll take X minus 20% knowing who I am, but I need to be closer to that X.
Yeah.
You got to get me closer to that $30 million range. Just like they're all chasing Conor's purses right now. Right? So you can't set the bar that high as the UFC. No matter what, you can't do it. It's bad business.
Yeah. No.
But I get asking for it.
Yeah.
I get wanting it.
Yeah. No.
But,
I
like,
get it. But
it's not reasonable.
it's like, hey, pipe down. So, like, you get your 10 million and you shut up.
Yeah. And I mean, look,
Guess what?
$10 million is nothing to fucking sneeze at.
Yeah, go buy yourself some Bitcoin, kid. Fuck off. Like, who cares? What do you need from me? Like, it's like, you got money. You're a
Go
millionaire.
invest in some NFTs
Yeah, you're a millionaire now. You've made.
and make that shit crack.
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong
Stop
with you?
crying about what you don't have
What's wrong with you?
and start earning with what you do.
Stop faking home invasions. Yeah, like, let's go.
Whoa, sir.
Stop faking home invasions. Let's stop playing around here. What's going on?
Are you not a John Jones fan?
I'm not saying I'm not a John Jones fan. I'm just saying, hey, man.
I'm asking you. I'm
just saying, let's not pretend like he is all of a sudden John Wick out here. Like, for sure, if it was a 1-to-1 fight, he would strangle a lot of regular people. But he's not out here John Wick with his dog out here just searching and just
John Jones and his dog and a shotgun
yeah,
running around like he's I Am Legend and shit.
Yeah, this ain't
Fucking.
this ain't the athlete remake. Get out of here. Nobody cares.
First of all, I don't trust black men with German Shepherds. How about that?
Yeah, like it's like.
Haven't you ever seen a civil rights video before, motherfucker? Don't you know?
Let's be clear here. It's like, it's like you once you cross that line, I'm like, oh yeah, man, like you're more great with machines, not great with people. That's that kind of vibe I get from you. Yeah.
Sometimes I resemble that remark too.
He's great with
Sometimes.
machines. You're just like the Germans. Great with machines, but not great with people.
I mean, sometimes I play exceptionally well with others, And other times, I need to be locked in a room by myself for hours.
Like, yeah. Well, it's okay. Apparently, John Jones and Francis are playing well. John is talking about this is for America, you African man. What did he say?
He didn't say that,
He
did
didn't
he?
say that. No, no, no. He didn't say nothing like that. What happens? They've been just tweeting at each other on Instagram, on Twitter. I shouldn't have to motivate you, Johnny. If it's not in you, you already have lost. I know my motivation. Motivate me more, Francis. He said, please don't make me laugh. Also, pray you knock me out because if you don't, I'm going to break you, and that's a promise, Francis. Please don't make me laugh. When was the last time you broke somebody? You're a decision fighter, Johnny Bones, and you barely won a fight, lady. But you're gonna break me.
I don't believe that Francis is writing these.
I don't believe that either, just because like how well the English is.
Just to be clear.
But
And
it's weird though because some of the language.
I don't know that for a fact, but like maybe I'm like 90% sure that it's a fact that he doesn't fucking write any of that.
I don't know because it's like it's weird because
I don't think that someone writes it without running it by him.
Yeah.
But I bet he gets a text and goes cool, and then they post that shit.
Yeah. The only reason why I say I don't know is because of some of like the way it's worded. It sounds like it's not like it's broken English, like because it's like
It sounds like broken English
yeah,
to you.
Yeah. When is the last time you broke somebody out? You break somebody out. When's the last time you break somebody out? Like that would, but you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, he might have written that one.
Yeah.
He might have written that one. When's the last time you break somebody out,
Like
John?
all because he keeps saying the same thing, and like I'm just paraphrasing it because it makes it easier. But you're a decision fire, Johnny Bones. You barely.
No,
won.
don't paraphrase so that we can get to the bottom of this
Yeah,
shit.
you're a
We have
decision
to do
fighter.
the forensic understanding
All right.
of his language skills. And through this, we can get to the bottom of this, Anthony. Because look, if I'm writing for a foreign athlete, right? Say I have athletes that I do social media for.
Yeah.
Bing! Say I have athletes that I do social media for, right?
Yeah.
And I'm writing their tweet. If English isn't your first language, is it insulting for me to mimic your broken English when I'm writing? Or is that how I try to authenticate that it's you?
I mean, let's look at Khabib's
And, like-
Twitter. Let's look at Khabib's Twitter and go from there. Right? So,
Because I would find it deeply insulting, right? Like imagine if you were like a 50-year-old white guy and you have to write Eazy-E's Twitter page, right? Like, like that would be super weird. Type in like, yeah, nigga. Like, that would be super weird, right? Like, it's the same thing essentially. It's like, do you want to be in a spot where you have to speak broken English? Ugh. I don't like it. I don't like it. But I guarantee you that all that social media ain't him.
I agree, just because like some of it's a little weird. Like, let me show you a screen. It's like like it's very it's very like tactical emojis, like I know my motivation, and then at first I'm like, oh, it's the world, but if you look closer, it's Africa. It's like the continent Africa facing out. I'm like, oh, that's like fucking slick, man.
But whenever you see the globe, isn't it always with Africa facing out, or am I wrong?
I don't know. I mean,
Maybe I'm racist. Maybe I just see what I want to see.
I'm like, I thought it was America facing. So I don't know. Like I always thought we're just looking at America. You look at where you're from. That's the globe you look at. But yeah, please.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's set up to be like centered around your universe, right? Like
Yeah.
your idea of what the world looks like. And most of our ideas of what the world looks like is like, well, it starts with me
Yeah.
and then it goes outward.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like when it's the last time you break somebody out, and then a division fighter. I've carried the record for most submissions in the light heavyweight division for many years, my friend. You are what we call a one-trick pony. Every champion I face punches hard. I see right through you. I would rather be a decision fighter than a last for 2 rounds fighter. Honestly, Francis, I really respect you and your story. I really don't feel the need to crush you in a verbal battle to do what I've done to everyone since 2011.
See, that literally is the best. That's the best thing that John could have said.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, you know what? I don't even got a problem with you, bro. Like, in fact, I fucking like you, and I'm impressed with your story. But I've been fucking everybody up since 2011, so I think I'm just gonna do the same thing to you and move on. Like, I'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah, he's like,
That's the right way to handle it.
most people that talk shit with me go quiet after a while. White flag, white flag, white flag. Everyone's going to be the first one to smash John Jones. Very popular theme.
It's really true.
Yeah, it's like oh,
It's really true.
so they're chirping at each other.
That's appropriate shit talking from John.
Yeah,
Now here's the thing, like if he starts doing this American flag waving shit, I think that can get weird.
let me find that. Let me find that one. John
I
Jones.
think that can get weird because you mentioned something about him saying like America versus Africa, and that's super weird. Like, and it's not just weird because you're black, but it does make it super weirder. It makes it a bit weirder.
Yeah, he's like the greatest title in the world is coming back to the greatest country in the world. If you think you're gonna run through America, you are wrong. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like hey, like let's not start this
it's
thing.
it's more like run to America is what he was trying to do than run through
Yeah,
America.
yeah, he's gonna run
He
through.
was trying to not work in a mine.
Yeah,
Yeah, Francis has maybe the most incredible story of any UFC fighter.
yeah, but
Like to go from I worked in a mine to I'm the heavyweight champion of the world is a crazy story to be able to tell.
it is a crazy story to be able to tell. Guess what you should do? You should fight Derek
What?
Lewis. You shouldn't fight John Jones because that story will end very soon, very quickly. Because that double, like I said, once he gets that
Well,
double,
here's the other part though. See, I don't know, man. Don't be short sighted about this.
what?
Because say John Jones whoops him, right?
Yeah,
Say John Jones whoops him. Do you think John Jones is going to be a heavyweight for a long time?
I think he's gonna have like 3 fights and be done.
If that, I think.
Yeah,
I think 2 or 3. I think 2 or 3, and we don't see John in a UFC octagon ever again
yeah,
because he doesn't need to do it. Like once he gets the heavyweight belt, he can walk, and so I think that happens. I think he beats Francis, but then I also think that he goes away, and that Francis can get to tell the story after he knocks out another dude who's holding the belt, or for a vacant belt, that I got fucking beat by Stipe, then I fucked him up, and then I lost the title again, and then I regained the title. Because just like when I got taken from fucking France back to fucking Morocco, I built another boat. I built another raft. That's what I do. He can tell that story in his personal life and professional life if John Jones whoops him. It's literally a gift for the movie of his life, which is going to happen. There's going to be a Francis movie.
you look at me. I'm gonna tell you right now, that
Yes.
story is not happening that way. You know what's
Why
gonna,
not?
You know what's gonna happen?
Tell me what's going to happen.
Because literally, what's gonna happen is that John Jones in those 3 fights that John's fighting, right? Well, after he grinds out Francis into a decision, he's going to Francis is gonna beat everybody else, right? And John Jones' last fight will be fighting Francis again, and John Jones will beat Francis. Then Francis will be the #1 contender against whoever he has to face. He'll fight that guy, win the belt. He'll be a paper champ like they made DC out to be.
Not in the fucking movie.
But in real life, that's what's gonna happen. The movie, yeah, let's go with the movie, man. But how you get the movie is how the public reacts to the original story, and they say paper champ, paper champ. That shit ain't gonna sell. It is no box office hit. He says, sorry, only the people in your village are gonna watch that movie. Nobody else is.
Anthony, you're so pessimistic.
It's like,
That's not true. You're not being pessimistic. That was very good. I don't disagree with you, but I hope you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong too. I really do. I hope I'm wrong, but that's how I see it. If nobody else, if what happens is that Francis Ngannou gets beat by John, but his wrestling improves like dramatically, but he still can't beat John, then yeah, it's like Curtis Blades. See you later, nerd. You're not taking him down anymore. Any other dude who could wrestle, see you, nerd.
See you later, nerd.
The only person that's gonna wait in the wings is gonna be Derek Lewis, and that's if he wants to still fight anymore.
Man, your takes today are hot as fuck.
Yeah.
I only have respect for these takes.
Let's talk about the Gordon because I also have a hot take for that too.
Oh yeah, you're like, and let's move on to this Gordon Ryan interview because I'm about to fuck your shit up too. Gordon Ryan, for those who do not know, is widely regarded as the pound for pound no-gi king. He even uses the moniker King Ryan. This motherfucker goes around tournaments wearing a crown. I saw this in person in real life. I saw this motherfucker wearing a crown and a robe in real life, walking around like it was just regular clothes because he believes in himself enough to do such things. And I only have respect for these kinds of actions.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these people that sees somebody doing wild shit like that and go, oh, what a fucking douchebag. I'm like, nah, dude, you don't know what he's doing. What he's doing is he's being the guy that's willing to put the fucking target on his back. And that's something that people aren't willing to do. People love the attention when they succeeded, but they shy away from that light when they fail. But if you put that attention on yourself before the event and you say, I'm going to fuck everybody up, I'm the king, then everybody's going to be looking at you hoping that you fail.
Yeah.
Hoping that they're the one that proves that you're a false king. And then the pressure's on. And to take on that pressure is a good idea. Like, do you know who Tim Grover is?
No.
He was Michael Jordan's trainer. He also trained Kobe Bryant, Serena Williams.
Yeah. I know this guy. Yeah.
He's a
Relentless.
Indian guy,
Yeah,
you know?
he wrote the book Relentless. Yeah, it's a great
Yes.
book. Yes.
Great book. So I just really got hip to him because of my homeboy Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things he says is that pressure is a privilege. It's like, and it's not just like pressure creates diamonds, but that's one of the examples, right? But pressure really is a privilege. And you can really create something special when you use pressure properly. And that's what Gordon's doing to himself, I believe. He's putting that fucking pressure on himself.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't go out and he isn't the best guy, if he's not the king, that would suck dicks.
It does suck dick, but it kind of backfires.
So you tell everybody you're the fucking king, and then you do the work to be the king, and then when you whoop everybody, you tell them you told you so.
Yeah, but
it's fucking good.
It's cool until you realize that you can't make money. I mean, well, granted, that's not true. It's not that you can't make money. You just can't. You can't keep achieving to be the greatest of all time because nobody wants to fight you. It kind of makes your meteoric rise to kind of halt.
Yeah, it is anticlimactic because it's difficult to find matches, right? If nobody wants to fight you, and there aren't enough events where they don't have a choice, right? Like when there's like this type of world championship and that type of world championship that you can always be like facing against different opponents.
Yeah.
Or there was a system where there were like mandatory opponents for defenses and shit like that, like they have in boxing and in the UFC. Then it would be easier to maintain your ability to say this, that you're the fucking best guy and you can keep proving it, right?
Yeah.
If you can't have a match, if no one will fight you, in a way that proves your point that you're the best guy, but it does make it hard to be demonstrative of this fact.
Yeah.
Right? It fucking puts a twig in the spokes of your bike, if you will.
Yeah, no.
Right?
There's a lot of
fucks
things.
your shit up, dog.
There's a lot of things that mess it up for him. It's like he's like, you have that, and it's that like you're fighting dudes that like when he described it, it's like, oh, you're right. You're fighting dudes that have been fighting in the sport in the 30s and 40s, and it's like it's not that cool to watch like old school versus new school. Like you need to kind of let these new guys come up and get closer to you, get closer to touching God. just saying, like I guess. It's otherwise it is kind of boring. It is kind of boring. Like they announced some new guy he's fighting. Don't know, don't care. I'm like, all right, man. I guess we're gonna watch a top pin submission. That's what I'm guessing, because he's selling.
He flat out said that he makes more money from selling instructionals than he does from anything else inside jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So like 90% of his jiu-jitsu income is from selling instructional DVDs, right? And that his matches are just advertisements for those instructionals.
Yeah.
So the new one is called Submissions from Top Pin or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So guess what I'm doing, everybody out here? I'm armbarring them from the mount. I'm getting them from the top of even half guard. I'm getting guys from the top. I'm finishing from the top because that's what I'm selling next. Bro, if you're so good that you can look at the guys at the top level and be like, I'm just going to demonstrate what I'm working on for sale. I'm going to show my new product on your ass. You really are the fucking king of the game.
Yeah.
You are the king of the game. And if you want to wear a crown and a robe and talk shit, I'm going to be right there clapping for you. I will never be one of those people that's like, oh, he's not good for the sport. And you know what's fucking great?
What?
One of my friends texted me, completely unsolicited, have you heard the Gordon Ryan podcast? It's fucking incredible. And I'm like, I'm currently listening to it. I'm literally listening to it right the fuck now. And she was like, but then I wanted her to give me more, because I wanted to know, since it was unsolicited, right? Like, what made it resonate with her so much?
Yeah.
And she was like, look, a lot of people say that Gordon's not good for jiu-jitsu. And I was one of those people. And now, after watching him, I'm no longer one of those people. And I think that a lot of people who don't even know what jiu-jitsu is, who just watched him on this podcast because it was Joe Rogan, are going to at least follow his highlights on YouTube, are going to like be attached to this guy because he came across on some fucking good shit on a deep level.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he talks a lot of shit, which rubs people the wrong way. And a lot of the reason that rubs people the wrong way is because they don't fucking like themselves. So they can't imagine saying anything fucking superlatively confident about themselves. Like, saying that you're the best at something sounds gross to most people because they're fucking sick inside. And that's okay. I've been sick inside too. I was sick inside recently, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot how good I can be. It's happened to me before.
Yeah.
So, like, I understand how that can happen and how there's an ebb and a flow with that. But, like, when you can see that somebody else is saying, like, I'm the fucking best, that's supposed to inspire you. Like, when Rose is standing inside the cage and her husband's looking at her and he's like, you're the motherfucking best. You've been the best for a long time. And you see her face change and she goes into state and she's like, I'm the best. You're not supposed to look at her and say, you arrogant bitch. Fuck you. You're supposed to be like, you're supposed to stand up for that woman and clap for her. That's how you're supposed to feel.
Yeah.
If you can get yourself into that state, which you need to take the things you want from this life. And Gordon's out here doing it. Gordon's out here doing all of it. And he's dragging his team with him. And here's the thing. I think this is the thing that really is going to put him over with people who are reluctant to put him over.
Yeah.
He was like, I care about my team so much that I'm willing to take a hit for my team.
Yeah.
There are no teams in jiu-jitsu, bro. There are no teams in jiu-jitsu. If, like, the jiu-jitsu is only team, right? Team, family, team. It's a fucking illusion and a lie 95% of the time. Some of these people don't know they're lying. They think they're telling the truth. But, like, if you go to Galvao, he'll say Atos is a family. Well, what was TT? What was Braza? Were those not families? Were those not teams? They sever because that's what they do. When he didn't say like Henzo's team. He said John's team.
Yeah.
I am down for this group of guys, this instructor, and I ain't wavering. I bought a house in New Jersey with my fucking money that I've earned in this game. And then I said, guys, we should probably move to Puerto Rico. And I sold that fucking house. And if somebody can take my spot at the top of this game, then I'll try to conquer another game. But if nobody can, then I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
I'm down to sacrifice that for my clique. People don't sacrifice for their cliques. It's a very, very rare kind of athlete, especially in a solo sport. Because at the end of the day, Gordon's on that mat by himself.
Yeah, for sure. No, he definitely is. And it's kind of crazy to see, like, oh, yeah, like, I'm willing to, you know, stay here and potentially, like, make less money, potentially make more money than if I would, or basically not live my dream, not live the full dream that I want to live, which is being an MMA fighter, to make sure that, you know, we are the best, no matter what,
Yes.
that we are the best. And
That's actual sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's actual sacrifice. That's like the willingness to actually sacrifice something of value. What like I don't sacrifice things. Like, what feels like sacrifice to me is like me delaying reward. Right? It's like I want to do something in the immediate, but I have a goal that's bigger than that. And when I acknowledge that goal at my best, I trade the goal for what I wanted in the short term. But that's not sacrifice, because I'm trying to get this bigger thing that I really want too. I want both things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
let's cut it to like something ridiculously simple. I can either get on the treadmill or get a fucking blowjob. I want both things.
Yeah.
I like both things in terms of the result. I want to get off, but I also want to get closer to getting a championship. And one is something I don't want to do, but it gets me that thing I want. You don't take the blowjob, you get on the treadmill. Well, you didn't sacrifice the blowjob, bro. Like, because you want the result of that treadmill. That's not a real sacrifice.
Right.
But sacrificing, chasing another part of your career for the benefit of your team and your friends and your mentor, that's an actual sacrifice. And sacrifice is admirable.
Yeah. No, it really is.
I define love as sacrifice. Love is sacrifice. So it's like, that's love. Love is saying, yo, bro, I won't go on to MMA until we have what we need as a clique. And I'm out here backing it up. That's real shit. Like, people can get behind that.
Yeah.
People can then understand why he's typing all these crazy things on Instagram, like why it appears that he's attacking all these people. He's spending all of his spare time fucking around doing that because he's busting his ass to be the best in the world. And I do think that talk helps him maintain it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know,
I think all
it was such a good podcast.
It was okay podcast.
Ooh, I felt that. I felt the cold front come over you. I felt it. You're about to give me that hot take right now.
I mean, like, what was it? It was like almost. I'm trying to think. Let me do the math. It was almost a 3-hour podcast, right?
2:45, Daddy.
Yeah. So that could have been a 90-minute podcast, because like Joe asked like the same question 3 times for many subjects, and it was like, yo, bro, like let's dive into like more of the subculture. Why are we just asking the same 3 shallow questions? Like, oh yeah, you do MMA? No? Oh, okay. Oh, you know, you train with Gary, right? For MMA? So what do you think you transition to MMA soon? Like, maybe he was high, whatever, man. But like, Jesus, like, don't make me have to like. There should be like they should put this back on YouTube. They should have a service that just cuts out all the dead air with Joe, the nonsense that he said, like just sitting there and just waiting for him to, get past this dumb question. I'm like, dude, like, come on, you already asked us. Like, let's get to something else, something juicy. The other thing that I thought was which I thought was true, but I'm like, it's not going to happen now, is when they said that jiu-jitsu is going to take over and become more of a mainstream sport in like the up and coming years, and I would have agreed with them if the coronavirus didn't happen.
So, you believe that jiu-jitsu was on pace to becoming... So, let's just be clear. Are we saying that it's going to become a mainstream sport?
It's going to be
or that it would become closer toward the mainstream where people could actually earn a better living?
Yeah, closer towards the mainstream.
Because I don't think we're fucking with football or hockey anytime ever. Not like anytime soon. I mean like anytime ever.
Never gonna happen. It's never gonna
I don't think that's ever happening, right? Yeah. So, but like, could we get to the level where there was more money in jiu-jitsu, like significantly more?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so.
I think if we follow the models of other lifestyle sports, things like skateboarding, they of course will have like really huge peaks in popularity and then kind of die back down.
Yeah.
But they could have like something kind of solidified. Like the X Games is a real thing. It continues. Now it peaked in popularity, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think it's less popular today than it was at a certain point. But it's still popular enough that it's drawn real money that real people are earning just doing the thing that they love.
Yeah.
I like to see that in jiu-jitsu too.
Yeah.
Not happening. I think it's possible. I don't think that Corona set it back that far though.
Yeah, it did. Come on, man. Come on. We can't be head-to-head grappling and then like, somebody accidentally sneezes. No, that's not happening right now. I mean,
well, here's what I'm saying. I don't think you need to be in the academy to make jiu-jitsu a valid thing to watch. Like, it's almost like if you can't train, you might be more likely to watch some shit. Like, it might pull you more into that fan spot. Like, I'm becoming a bigger fan in the last month or two, right? Like, slowly but surely, my fandom is building where I'm like enjoying watching. But like, I didn't watch things. I did jujitsu.
Yeah, but that's also because you're trying to get better now. Like now you know. It's like if you knew that if it, all it took was you to get better was to watch more tape and then just practice, you would just do that. You'd have done that then. It's just that you just didn't. You just pretended like it didn't matter, and now it matters. That's all it is. Don't act like coronavirus changed it. It's like your own personal feelings changed that. It just happened.
Well, I'm just saying that I don't think Corona is affecting it, and I think that jujitsu is still going to get to a point, and by jujitsu, let's be clear, because I agree with something he said too. No-gi jujitsu is going to be the thing that pops for the money, and it's not going to be gi. And there are two factors. One, the way the game is played.
Mm-hmm.
The gi is not played in an exciting fashion.
No.
I said gi and you yawned. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, it's not like,
and you like jujitsu.
I like jujitsu. I actually, and you know what's funny? I was like, I like no gi and I like gi grappling, but it's like the way it is like I'm grabbing this grip and I'm cinching it tight and I'm.
Yo, if we had to go watch shit right now, right?
Yeah.
And on one side of the room, there's the gi World Championships, and on the other side of the room, there's Abu Dhabi, and we can get front row seats to both for $1. Right? It's not going to be anything significant. We can just go whichever one we want, front row. Do we even have to talk about which one we're going to?
We're going to Abu Dhabi. I mean, like just.
We're going to Abu Dhabi for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't spend 2 minutes watching the fucking gi World Championships. I don't give a flying fuck about watching that. I would like to win that, but I don't want to watch that.
Right.
Because the chances of it being exciting are so remote. Like, chances are dudes are going to hold on to grips forever and make very small decisions and try to win the match in the last minute. Fuck that. I don't want to watch. Unless we're just going to fast forward and say, look, the match is 90 seconds. Who wants this?
Right. I mean,
like, you're only going to fight for 90 seconds in this 10-minute match anyway. So now the match is 90 seconds. Get all your scrapping in right now. I'd much rather watch Abu Dhabi. But not just for the entertainment factor. Will no-gi pop first? Or be the only one to pop potentially? But the no-gi game has been the one that's been earning money for the longest period of time.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi started paying motherfuckers in 99 or 90 or 2000 or some shit like that. In 99, 2000, you couldn't earn with a fucking gi on. In fact, if I put a gi, I still think jiu-jitsu doesn't pass the Walmart test. And just so that people know what I'm talking about, if you're a new listener, if you're a new viewer, the Walmart test is if I put on my gi, I put on my pajamas, and I stand in the middle of a Walmart, how many people are going to go, that's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitor, that's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach? And how many people are going to be like, that nigga does karate or something? I think I still do karate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the eyes of most people. Now, if I show up in a rash guard in a pair of board shorts, people will be like, oh, that guy's some kind of fighter.
Or he does yoga. One of the two.
I don't think anyone's going to think yoga.
Yeah. If you show up with board
Yeah,
shorts, if you show up with
yoga.
board shorts, yeah.
I think board shorts, rash guard, fighter person.
I think they would. I think they might think you're a surfer. In all honesty.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Definitely not a fighter.
Maybe.
though. They don't think of fighters with bare chests. If you're not bare chested, then they.
Oh, I get you. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. I respect that. If I take my titties out, then I'm a fighter.
Yeah. You kind of.
If the titties are covered,
Yeah.
I could be anything. I'm
Even
just some
then,
random athlete.
Even then, it's really hard. It's never gonna work out. There's no real jiu-jitsu outfit that's exclusive for jiu-jitsu, so it doesn't really matter. It's still hard.
But since they've been being paid for a much longer period of time, like Abu Dhabi can get you $40K.
Yeah, get you some money.
What gi match can get you anything more than $10,000?
I don't know. I don't think there's any.
And to get $10,000, you have to literally be the biggest star in the game.
Yeah.
It's $10,000 isn't just for anybody. It's not for you or me.
No. We'll get like 500.
Yeah, I might get a quick 500.
Yeah, that's it.
I think the most I've ever made grappling was like about $1,000. But it was because it wasn't just my fee, right? It was because it's because I got ticket sales. And at the time, people gave a fuck. But here's the craziest part. Releasing that sticker, like, that's the lesson. That's what it do. That's what I should have told you at the beginning. Releasing that sticker reminded me of how many people are watching you when you don't know they're watching you.
Yeah.
How many people care about you that you don't think care about you. You know? So keep that in mind at all times, motherfuckers. But yeah, I think there was a lot of value in that Gordon Ryan podcast. I think everybody should listen to it. I want to keep talking about this forever and ever, Anthony, but I have a heart out.
Yeah.
And I gotta get shit pushing. But I encourage everyone to listen to that podcast. And if you have an issue with how Gordon conducts himself online, just take a moment to reevaluate it. Have an open mind to how that guy is pushing himself in the game, because show me someone else who is pure jiu-jitsu, just jiu-jitsu, who's gotten themselves to a level where they're talking to Joe Rogan on that podcast.
Yeah. It's true.
And like, that's the biggest podcast. So it's whether, and also throw out whether or not you're a fan of Joe Rogan. It's nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I'm like, the only person you can really say
he has the most popular gimmick in that space, and that's a big space.
Yeah.
And that's who got sought out. He was like, I need to talk to Gordon Ryan.
Yeah.
So that motherfucker's doing something right.
Yeah.
Take notes, guys.
Besides the OGs, like Hickson and what's his face?
Well, Gary was also on there.
Say,
Gary Tonin on.
Gary was on there too. Yeah.
But Gary doesn't count as pure jiu-jitsu now. He had some fights.
Well, he didn't have fights then though.
He didn't?
No, he didn't have fights then. That was still because he was still doing EBI.
Oh, word. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, did Gary already kicked my ass when he did the podcast?
definitely did that. Yeah, definitely for sure. For sure as fuck did that.
I was scrolling through my Instagram for inspiration, right? Like looking at old moves that I've taught, and I scrolled past a post where I posted the still shot of Gary tapping me, right? And Gary commented on it because I sent him some love. Basically, I was like, yo, this is me getting fucked up, and like this is why I got fucked up. And the guy doing it is this guy, and more power to him. And like he just sent me like a little I think it was like this, or like it was love. It wasn't some hate bullshit. It was love, because I sent him love. It wasn't like I should have beat this guy. It wasn't. I didn't post that. But yeah, Anthony. Yeah. It's been a lovely podcast, but I got to get out of here.
Okay, let's end it.
Internet, I missed you. It's so good to have you in my life, and we're happy to bring you this podcast. It makes us happy, and we'll get it to you very, very soon again. Anthony, the next podcast is 311, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Wow. 311. On podcast 311, I want to do something special for the people, and I will discuss it with you tomorrow. I will not tell the audience a motherfucking thing.
That works.
So, Internet, we must bid you adieu. For now, Anthony, this is goodbye for real. Goodbye, Internet. XOXO.